Sexual harassment is not a woman's fault.
When you are urging me to be a good example to the girls, the younger ones who are doing their first term, Mr. Speaker, if they are good girls, they'll never get corner office. Be as bad as Millie Odhiambo, you will be the mother of this house. I am a bad girl, and as a bad girl, I'm here serving my 4th term. So do not be cheated like the African culture, where you are told have decorum, dress nicely, be kind, be nice. I'm telling you, you will go nowhere. Be a bad girl like me and you'll get somewhere.
Another former senator, where her name is Senator Ita-Giwa, will represent Cross River South during the regime of ex-president, former president Olusegun Obasanjo. She was the chief advisor to Chief Olusegun Obasanjo on Senate matters. Today she won't put her mouth for the matter. When we hear what she won't talk, and then we're going to.
When that lady won election, I don't know her. But, you know, for her courage and, you know, the struggle she fought on until she won the election, I actually looked for her number and called her. And I said to her that I think I see another Ita-Giwa in you. You struggle, you won the election. Go there, be strong, and represent your people very well. I didn't know her, but she was happy that I called her. Now, when the nightclub thing happened, again, I was out of Lagos. I was even calling Ozzy. I said, please tell him or tell Mr. Batty, I'd like to come and talk about it, but unfortunately I couldn't make it because I also felt it was out of order for somebody who is presiding to have the word nightclub cross his mind. You understand, when you're handling the issues of a country as number 3 man. So if at all he said that, I felt it was totally out of order and needed to apologize to women and to that lady, which eventually Senate President did, you know. But, you know, on this matter, I am not with Akputi. You understand? Number one, it is the worst sign of weakness on a woman's part. You understand? For you to come out and accuse a man or accuse a man of making passes at you at that level. There are 109 senators. It is not easy to win election to the Senate. Now, the Senate President is first amongst equals. We have arrived there as somebody. I had 7 local governments with me, so I went there with strength, and my God, you know, I won this election. So I saw everybody there as equals, and then we sit down and decide who is going to lead, because in every group there has to be a leader, which is what the Senate President is. But that, again, there's something that I'm hearing that each time I hear that, you know, my heart makes a beat, that a senator will get up and address Mr. Senate President as sir. Yeah. That's another undemocratic language, which should not be in the Senate chambers. It is Mr. Senate President. Even if you have to call that Mr. Senate President 10 times, you do that, you address Mr. Senate President. Because Mr. Senate President embodies the entire Senate chambers. That's number one, that's out of order. Now, in terms of presentation of bills or, you know, presentation of any material, you understand? Mandatorily, there are leaders. Mandatorily, there's a chairman of Rules and Business Committee, who again is carefully chosen. You understand? It's somebody who is very, very knowledgeable, you understand? Very, very highly respected, somebody that will not negotiate anything. Because everybody wants his or her matter to enter. And then mandatorily, beginning of every week, the Senate President must call a meeting of principal officers to look through the business of the day from the following day. Principal officers will now agree that this is presentation. So there's no way anything can be sneaked in. Okay. Now, for a senator, if you want a matter, but also when you go back to the Senate, and when the order paper is announced and the business of the day is announced, you have a right to bring up a matter of national urgent importance, which the Senate President is obliged to allow you. Okay. You understand, whether he likes it or not. So if you want your matter put in the order paper, you go and lobby the principal officer. That if it is that urgent, or if in our own time you didn't have to order.
I come in here because we need to set a lot of context. I get what you're saying, as regards how the Senate runs, but the difference is the fact that she was standing on privileges with that order 10 because of what she wanted to say, and she has also made very strong allegations that is because of the sexual advances made, and she has not succumbed, that's why she's being treated that way in the Senate. So are you saying, you said something just now that I was taken aback, ma. You said you feel disappointed that Natasha came out to air appointment. So is it that when a woman is sexually harassed, as she claims, she should keep quiet? Misogyny should continue?
No, I don't.
That women should not speak up?
Nobody
should talk because she has won the election, she's in the Senate now.
You have passed that.
You have,
but by the time you contest election and get to Senate, you understand?
Yeah.
You have passed that. You have passed that stage of your life of being sexually harassed.
Really?
So yes, by the time if you go there and stand, you have passed that. You go there, so you are all equal in that Senate.
So, really? So if somebody
you are all equal,
as a
it's
president,
out of order.
the
And again,
Senate
it
now
shows
sexually
weakness.
harasses
You don't
you.
allow it.
So is it a show of weakness for a woman to speak out?
It cannot happen in the Senate.
Really?
I'm not saying that the lady is lying.
So
I'm not done.
But
again, my dear, when you get to Senate, you are there as a person. You are not there as a man or woman. You are there as a person. It doesn't matter what you are carrying between
but she's
whatever.
Complaining that there's no equality.
You are there. And then, mind you,
she's complaining about.
I don't think at this stage of, I respect that girl. I like her. She's very intelligent, very, very well spoken. You understand? But I do not think that the person you call sir, because first of all, if you call somebody sir, then you are giving the person a cane to whip you.
Senator Ita-Giwa, let me ask you a question, a very direct question.
You understand? I'm not doubting what she's saying, but I'm saying that
it is very clear.
No. I'm not that, but I'm saying that it would not happen in the Senate.
In the Senate, it should.
You understand? And it should not happen in the Senate. And again, I'm not here to defend anybody.
Yes.
In politics, people joke and say things to each other.
Yes.
In politics, you touch a lot. You do things a lot. You understand? You understand? But I don't know. I think this thing, for me,
Senator Ita-Giwa, please,
my issue is that this lady,
yes,
whatever it is, should be sorted out.
You think she has not handled it well? I think, do I interpret it well?
You understand?
I think that is your point.
So don't come here and sit on television and then, you come here to say that you are not a college girl. You are
but Senator, I don't want you.
By the time we get to Senate, you are qualified to be president of the country. By the time we get to Senate, you are qualified to be president of the country.
My understanding,
and there are procedures that you must abide by the procedure. I'm a great fan of that lady, but I'm not a fan of any lady. Any lady. It's like you waking up tomorrow to say that Mr. Abasi is harassing you, so you cannot present.
I think she mentioned to me.
Yes.
So, ma'am, as a lady, as a woman, since you referred to me, there's no level at which we do not experience sexual harassment. You can choose to keep quiet about it, but I think it's...
You're not keeping quiet, it's allowing it.
I know. I do think it's disrespectful to women who have the courage to come out to speak, to say that they were not sexually harassed because they reached a certain level.
Not at that
I'm just speaking from my perspective.
Not in the Senate chamber.
Senator Ita-Giwa, let me play something and ask you a question. So that I don't misunderstand you. Your position is that you're not saying Senator Akpoti is lying. What you say is the way she's handling it is what you don't agree.
I don't have any comment on whether she's lying or not.
Exactly.
Number one, the Senate President has the prerogative to allocate seats.
Yes.
So for me, please listen to me. You understand? If I come there, you say you have changed my seat, I go and take my seat.
The new seat.
You understand? I go and take my new seat. I was given in Abbeville when I was there because I did not vote for a Senate president. You understand? Yes. My own was not such, I don't even allow it.
Anyway,
it's not allowed. You don't have the opportunity. You understand? I'm a civilized woman, so we know what to do by the time we get to that level. But when I was given that last house next to the bush, you understand, in Apo village. And I knew that happened because I did not vote for that Senate president. So I quickly went to Asoko and rented a house and moved out. Now, another thing, when I wanted to come here during the last issue,
the night club
my input was, what I was coming here to tell you was that if a senator, what we used to do in our time, if a senator raises his hand to speak and you are not allowed to speak, what I used to do in our time was that I would simply walk out, take a bow, walk out of the Senate and go out and call a press conference. I called the media and told them what I wanted.
And during the question, that's the question I wanted to ask you.
You have that power. There's so much power
in
your hand. There's so much you can do. There's so much you can do.
But Senator Ita-Giwa, don't you think it's denigrating on a lot of women that speak up when they are being harassed sexually, that you just brushed it aside today and say once you get to a Senate level, no man can sexually harass. Hope you know.
No, you cannot because it's not allowed.
Let me finish, ma.
I can advise women how to avoid it.
Hope you know
yes.
that there are women that are being raped in their marriages.
That's a different thing.
So if somebody, because she's a senator, is being sexually harassed,
in the Senate
like she claimed,
you are there as
like
one of the men.
No,
you understand? You don't give room to that.
In this case, Senator, let me finish.
Hold on,
Please, let me finish. Please, I beg you. In this case, in this same Senate, we have seen how Ireti Kingibe has been treated. We have seen how other female senators have been denigrated. Yes. And Natasha Akpoti here is saying that the reason why she's been treated that way because there was a prior case of sexual harassment. And what I read from what you are saying, Ma, is that once you get to a position of a senator in the country, you can't be sexually harassed. You are a man, you should stand up to them.
No, I'm not saying don't put words
that she's being harassed.
I did not say that you are a man. Okay, I'm saying that when you get to that chamber of 109 people, you are a person.
Yeah.
You understand? You are one of the people. Because what favor are you asking for? You all want election to be there. You want to put your issue in the other paper, you put it and it will appear on the other paper.
Can I just ask
you don't
a
have
question?
to.
Can I ask
in
a question?
politics, my dear, when I go for meetings and they want to do fundraising,
yes, ma'am.
You see, because that's what women do, because you let them, look at you as a weaker sex. So you say that if you want to do fundraising, say, okay, we are trying to raise 10 million. Ita-Giwa will raise your hand, so okay, out of that 10 million, I want to give 3 million. Yes. Because I will not give you opportunity, because we are together. Yes, there are ways that we are for such a pretty intelligent girl. Okay. You don't allow it. Okay. In my 32 years, I've never been made passat.
Okay, great. Okay, so ma'am,
in my 32 years,
round off now.
Because it's not allowed.
What you're saying is quite a revelation.
Do not allow it. And people joke a lot. In politics, there's a lot of people joke a lot. Yes, people hold each other's hand. People can say that, okay, so do you have nicknames that we call each other?
Okay. All right, let me just ask you a question for the girls that are watching and the women that are watching. You said that there's a way...
Women should protect themselves. So you understand? Women should carry themselves and you don't allow it.
You said that there's a way...
You can send a message that don't come here.
Yes, I want you to talk to the women. You said that their way, so we don't know the way. Because we are still sexually harassed. So since you know the way that it is, that so that you avoid it, can you share with the women who are watching with us, who are at that level, who are still being intimidated, what to do?
I feel for the young girls in the universities and, who are growing up. But what I'm saying today is that by the time you grow up and decide to be a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, you must have built so much confidence in yourself.
Okay, so it's lack of
you understand? Yes, you understand? You understand? You must have been, no. Why are you talking like that?
No, I mean, is it lack of confidence that makes her?
No, don't, I understand English like you do. No, you understand? I'm saying that as a woman, you understand? Can I make my point?
Yes, please.
You must have built so much confidence in yourself. Do you know what it is for you to win election to get to Senate? You struggle like a man. You were not given the mandate. That girl won election. That girl lost election. That girl went to court and fought and got to Senate. So by the time you get there, you have as much authority as the other men have.
And so you don't look at yourself. Sexual harassment.
For me, I'm sorry if I'm wrong, but my personal opinion is that at that stage in the Senate, if you come and say that somebody is sexually harassing you, it's a weakness.
I did not watch Senator Ita-Giwa's interview, a woman that I actually respect.
Yes.
But with what you have said now, I am quite disappointed at some of the measures that you've just reeled out. I'd like for you to just no, you can't give me advice. Just reel out what
exactly. I'm giving you suggestions on how to avoid sexual harassment.
How can you
be more confident?
Wait, was that what?
That's what she said. Because I asked her, because I said that was a revelation, because she needed to teach us a lot more about how not to be sexually harassed. And one of the things was that you have to be more confident.
You have to be more confident.
Yes, as a woman.
Wow.
So it's lack of confidence if you're sexually harassed. Number two is that you also have to be unapproachable.
Okay.
If you are too approachable, men will, and that's on you. And then, of course, it's weakness to come on air and come and talk about episodes, especially at a certain level. I don't know about you, but personally, I don't think a woman ever grows out of it, whereby men or women, we keep focusing on women, but when it comes to discrimination, it happens both ways. It's just that women face it a bit more, especially in this part of the world that we are. And the danger with narratives like that, like I was sharing behind the scenes is that whenever a case like this is brought up, the first thing that usually comes up is, what did the woman do? We must kill that narrative in Nigeria, because that is what perpetuates this a lot, because it's always that it's a woman must have done something to attract that kind of attention or attract that kind of discrimination.
Yes.
I think it's very sad if we continue that narrative, because we'll continue to absolve the people who ought to take responsibility for their actions.
All right, I was going to start the show in Lagos, but because we're talking about this issue and we're seeing that it's women that are coming out to trivialize sexual harassment, because this is exactly what it means. If you're sexually harassed, please, it is no woman's fault. You cannot be blamed for being sexually harassed. I mean, you look beautiful, you're sexually harassed. You did not create yourself. And it's not lack of confidence that causes sexual harassment. It is a thing out there, and it is unfair and unfortunate that at this time in our system, society, where 2025, we're talking about women not being able to come out and talk about sexual harassment. Well, I'd like to take the story in Kenya so that we can discuss everything together. Good morning to you, viewers. Well, in the wake of the feud between Senate President Godswill Akpabio and the senator representing Kogi Central, Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, over allegations of sexual harassment, the role of young women in politics and gender disparity in African politics has now become a topic of debate. Well, a 2024 video showing Kenyan legislator Millie Odhiambo, who has established herself as one of the country's most outspoken politicians, advising young women to be as fiery as she is, has resurfaced online. Well, let's take a look at that video before we come back for a discussion.
Mr. Speaker, I wish to start by saying that one of my favorite books is Good Girls Never Get the Corner Office. Mr. Speaker, this is in response to what you are telling me earlier in the morning, when you are urging me to be a good example to the girls, the younger ones who are doing their first term. Mr. Speaker, if they are good girls, they'll never get corner office. Be as bad as Millie Odhiambo, you will be the mother of this house. I am a bad girl, and as a bad girl, I'm here serving my 4th term. So do not be cheated like the African culture, where you are told have decorum, dress nicely, be kind, be nice. I'm telling you, you will go nowhere. Be a bad girl like me and you'll get somewhere.
Well, I don't think she means literally be a bad girl. I mean, but basically that, she said, was her favorite book.
Yeah.
Good girls don't get the corner office, meaning you have to stand your ground as a woman. A quick comment from you.
Well, absolutely. I mean, you have to stand your ground. I think what the speaker there was talking about is about being tough, not being bad in reality.
Yes,
I think for every situation of harassment, oppression, or discrimination, we should be able to truly condemn what is bad. What is bad is anybody in this world, either because of gender, either because of race, religion, or ethnicity, is trying to discriminate or oppress somebody else, is a bad thing. Absolutely. I think men who rape, I think men who use their power, who try to use their money, not to seduce or lure, but to extort and constrain other people, are weak men. I call them boys who did not do boyhood when they were boys. They fall into money and power at an age in their life, and they've never charmed women. They've never persuaded, they've never convinced people with their wit, with their oratory, with their knowledge, or with their physique. They've not done sport. They were not clapped to have young people. So when they get to a stage in their life, when they have power, money, they think they can buy people. But it is also important for us, however, to share the responsibility around. I stand with women of substance. I stand with women who are who they are, what they are, because of what they can bring to the table. I have seen many times in my life where some women use the feminine card to get what they do not deserve, to the detriment of other women. And I think anytime we talk about serious like sexual harassment, it is important not to simplify. It is important to go for the facts, followed by logic, and allow for space of dissident voices, and allow for space of misunderstanding, misinterpretation, and mischief. It is important that we understand that if you are for the truth, you will know the truth is always nuanced.
Absolutely. Basically, it's about standing your ground as a woman in politics. I mean, in Kenya, we are seeing more representation of women in politics. And this is what we're advocating for here on the show. Rufai, a quick comment from you.
You see, I'm not surprised that a lot of women are coming to pull down, this movement to be able to amplify when you're sexually harassed. Who will men use against women before? It is fellow women that men will use. So I'm not surprised. Because the hegemony of society has always been wrapped around men. It is a man's world. Songs like that and everything. So, also, in part of that mentality, a lot of women have been indoctrinated with the mentality of subservience to men. So they will spew narratives like, if a man makes a pass at you, you cost it. It's a deliberate societal attempt. And it is women that will enunciate this. And especially, some will see another woman standing up for herself, because the truth is, in a society that is male-dominated, for you as a woman to understand the preservation of self, it's a difficult thing. You are constantly told that you are not successful unless you end up in a man's house.
Unfortunate.
Society gives you everything. You go to church, once you are over 30, they are saying pray for husband.
Right.
A man is beating you in a relationship, they are saying for better, for worse. But the men can have multiple partners. So I am not surprised. It's part of the indoctrination of society. And that's why people will say that, oh, it's you that you cannot handle it properly.
Unfortunately.
Not trying to address the issue of a randy man that cannot keep his thing in his thing.
His thing in his thing. All right,
so
Rufai,
the truth has to be said, Oji. I am not surprised. It is the way society has evolved. But for those that do that, they should not forget that historically, Africa has always had stronger women in society. There are generations, there are African races that the likes of Ablapoku led.
All right.
So we must be able to magnify that Africa originally was not a misogynistic society. Amina of Zaria,
Queen Amina of Zaria, she's one of the women I respect,
they held
admire
positions.
the most, yes.
So the attempt of women to support the misogyny against women now is a problematic streak of mentality we must change. And that's why we should be weary of people that are now preaching this macho mentality. People like Andrew Tate online, because there's a resurgence of people like that, and they're subjugating women.
All right. Well said, you all. Thank you very much for your submissions. And again, we need more women in politics, especially here in Africa. Again, sexual harassment is not a woman's fault.